I have a Maggie cat in my lap. Hello, Miss Maggie.
He's actually being friendly.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about Kerrville.
In a rare mood.
Yeah. I opened the top, the lid of this, the sriracha sauce, and she went...
Sniffed it and went, ooh.
Yeah. Well, she's still sniffing at it, but when I open it up, she's like...
She's like, that's not for me.
So, I didn't live in Kerrville. I lived out in a little town called Ingram, which I was just looking at Google Satellite, and I'm like, oh my gosh. The whole area's grown. Kerrville looks like it's 3 or 4 times, maybe 5 times larger than it was when I lived there. Looks like there's a new Walmart. At least something that looks like what you would expect a Walmart to look like. They must have 10 or 15 Mexican restaurants.
I can't imagine why.
And when I lived there, there was 1, and then there were 2, and that was it. But when there was 2, then there was 1 again. Why did the second one open? And what was the true purpose of the second restaurant? See, the first one was a really good restaurant, and it was run by a family. Initially, it was run out of their house, like the front part of their house, and then the back part of their house they lived in. And you could sit outside, you know, and chileanos were so good. And we were at King Community Kitchen getting our box once, and they had a can of tortilla soup, and the lady said, I can't pronounce this. Like, it's tortilla. Tortilla.
Well, they don't understand how the tortilla,
yeah,
say.
Yeah. So anyway, see, when I lived in the Texas Hill Country, they had this family that had a ranch, and they flew drugs in from Mexico. And if those of you in Kerrville want to get pissed off about me exposing you, go ahead, get pissed off.
It's the truth.
Yeah, look at my last video. So if you want to come after me, look at my last video. Anyway, where I lived in Ingram, I lived in a trailer park, and which is actually a nice trailer park, believe it or not. But that's because the owner kept it that way. And she was a widow.
Some trailer parks are better than others.
Yeah. And there was a hill behind the place. And the planes bringing the drugs in would fly over that hill at night with no lights. And then the high power lines were right over there too. And I'm surprised there was never an accident. And I actually went out to the Kerrville airport, if you want to call it an airport. And as it was always on a particular day or days that they did this, and
watch the planes come in.
Yeah, and there they are, you know, lined up, taking these bundles of stuff off these airplanes. As soon as one airplane was unloaded, they taxied, refueled, taxied, took off. There was a line of them getting ready to unload, and then another line getting ready to take off. And you know, they were only there long enough to land, unload, refuel, and leave.
They didn't stay long.
Nope. And the Kerrville Police Department and the Kerr County Sheriff's Department knew all about it. They were in on it. And there was this family, and they opened a Mexican restaurant. Kind of a highfalutin kind of place. That's where they laundered their drug money through. From looking at the Google Satellite, it looks like that place is still around, too.
Of course it is, honey. I
don't know if the drugs are still being funneled through Kerr County, but you know, the owners of the restaurant could be different. I don't know. That's why I'm not going to say the name of the restaurant, because it could be a different family now, and I might even mention the wrong restaurant. I'd have to actually go there and look, but I have no intention of ever going back to Texas. We get enough heat up here in the summer. I don't need the Texas heat.
It's just during the winter. We need a little bit.
Yeah, and we don't have any heating oil, so.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Last year, at the end of the year, we got like 100 gallons or more. So we thought we were fine, but
We must have went through it fast.
Yeah. But anyway, now what they would do is what the Kerrville Police Department would do is they would bust a small-time dealer every now and then. But the main purpose of bringing the drugs through was to funnel them like to San Antonio, to Dallas, and eventually to Chicago. Places like that, Houston, Austin, Fredericksburg. Mainly the big cities, though. That's where the money would be. But that was one corrupt town. There was a young lady from the Dallas area who was accused of murdering her children, and now there's been DNA tests that indicate she's not responsible. There's also a fingerprint that's been identified, but it's to an unknown person. And I just wish I could remember her name right now. I think it was last year I sent her a Christmas card. She's in prison on Texas death row. She got a change of venue. Where did they do the change of venue to? Kerrville. Wrong place to have a trial at.
Bad, huh?
Yeah, because they're automatically going to find her guilty. The Kerrville City Council would have closed-door meetings all the time. People would file complaints with the state because there's a Texas Open Meetings Act. Yet they kept getting away with it and getting away with it and getting away with it. It is one corrupt town. Now, I don't live there anymore. I haven't lived there in a long, long time, so some things could have changed, but I'm sure some things are still the same.
Messed up.
Yep. If there was I think they had an awful lot of murders for a town their size. A lot for a town their size. And who do you think got blamed most of the time? Some illegal alien that some rancher had hired. Blame them because they can't afford a decent attorney. Don't blame the rich ranch family member who has plenty of money and maybe an attorney anyway, and maybe in bed with the judge and so forth and so on. So that's the way it worked there. But that's one corrupt place, people.